YouTube, it has been a very long time since this car has been on this channel, and I haven't really driven it that much because the tags on this car are literally 3 months expired because this car refuses to pass emissions ever since I put a new battery in it. The O2 sensor literally just won't throw a code, but I'm gonna drive it out for you guys anyways and make a long overdue video. Today we're gonna talk about air suspension. I've had air suspension on this car for about 2 years, and I think it's a good time for me to do a long-term review and tell you guys my thoughts on the air suspension and whether I think it's worth it. Not bad, only 10 gallons. Thing is so slow. Now that I have the WRX, every time I jump into this car it feels so slow, but I have to admit VTEC always sounds so good. And I'm running a PRL Motorsports short ram intake on this car, and it really makes the car sound really deep and throaty when you're getting on it. And when you get into VTEC, it sounds really good too. But that's not what we're talking about today. That can be a part of a different video. Today we're talking about air suspension. Now, for those of you who don't know and aren't familiar with this car, I haven't uploaded a video on this car in really long. I've only been focusing on the WRX mainly these past couple of months, but this car is a 2014 Honda Civic Si. This car is what I started this YouTube channel with. This is what I started uploading videos on. This car is literally the ground and roots of this YouTube channel. And honestly, I miss driving this car a lot. I have a lot in store for this car in these next couple of months for the next upcoming car season. But this car is running a full airlift suspension setup. So we do have 3P management in this car, which means that you get this nice little remote here, and it is Bluetooth compatible too, so you can pair it up with your phone. If you download the Airlift app, and you can have this like same display on your phone. Airlift also does have a couple of other management systems, but I won't get into that. Basically, what I want to talk about today is, after 2 years, is air suspension really worth it? We all know that air suspension is one of the most, no, it is the most expensive type of suspension you can get for your car. But is it worth it? Is it this setup cost me about $3,000. It's really expensive. You can get yourself a nice pair of, like what I got for the WRX. I got Fortune Auto coilovers for the WRX. Amazing set of coilovers, really comfortable, hand built, to spec, everything. Costs about $1,100 to $1,300 bucks. Air suspension, you're looking at about $3,000 with the Bluetooth management. Without Bluetooth, you're looking at about $2,500. I was stupid and impatient, and I purchased my setup when there wasn't like a sale. Airlift does do a couple of 25% off sales during the year. I know Black Friday is one for sure time that they do that. So if anyone is interested in purchasing air suspension for the car from Airlift, Black Friday is the time to do it. And they do a couple of other sales around the year, like Labor Day, stuff like that. But after 2 years, I can honestly say that I don't regret one bit buying suspension for this car that cost $3,000. $3,000 is a lot of money, and not everyone can afford it. And a lot of people, they want to make their car lower right away. But if air suspension is your goal, if that's what you want, then I completely recommend whoever's interested to just save your money, be patient, because having a car on air suspension is literally like no other thing. I mean, it's so awesome. Pulling up to a car meet and airing the car out, first off, it looks super cool. It sounds awesome. It's so nice being able to just drop your car all the way down to the ground. It's so convenient being able to raise your car up whenever you need to go over a speed bump or up onto a driveway. And it's just so convenient that you never have to worry about rubbing anymore. You don't have to worry about whether it's messing up your front lip or anything like that. You don't have to adjust your ride height like you do with coilovers. If you need to make your car lower or higher, you just press a button. You just press the button right here on the remote and you can adjust the height right there. So the convenience factor of air suspension is like no other. It's literally the most convenient thing you can get of what's on the market. I know there's a couple of other companies out there for air suspension. I know there's like Air Force suspension, there's AccuAir. Airlift is probably like the most popular one, and I can say that I've personally not had any problems with my airlift setup. Now, knock on wood, there are people that have had issues with air suspension, whether it's a bag that blew or whether it's leaking airlines or anything like that. But honestly, I just think it's up to the install. If you install your air suspension good and you maintain your air suspension well also, then you really should have no problems. You should expect no problems. I've had no problems. I personally wasn't that confident in myself to install this, so I went and got my friend to help me install it. He helped me out. He did an amazing job, and I haven't had any problems. So that's another thing, that air suspension, you really need to know what you're doing. It's not, I mean, as far as putting the struts in and the bags and stuff like that, it's the same as coilovers. But everything else, running the wires, the lines, the management system, all of that stuff, you really need to know what you're doing. And if you're not too confident and you think you need some help, definitely go get some help, because you just want to make sure that you're doing a good job when you install air suspension. That way you don't have any problems in the future and stuff like that. Now, as far as comfort, I'm sure you guys can see that the camera is bouncing around up and down a little bit. It's not the softest or most comfortable. I mean, it is comfortable, but it's still going to be stiff. Obviously, it's not, you know, factory suspension, so it's going to be a lot stiffer than factory, but it's not bad at all. And it's I think it's 32-way adjustable, 28, I'm not sure, I don't remember, but they do have adjustable dampening, so you can adjust how exactly stiff you want this car to feel. This car can feel a lot more stiff. It can feel a lot more softer. I personally like to have it just right about in the middle. I think that's like a perfect setting for dampening. It's the perfect amount of stiffness. It feels really good. And as far as the performance of air suspension, before, a lot of people were skeptical about getting air suspension because they weren't sure how it would perform. Nowadays, you see freaking Ferraris, Porsches, Audis, all these performance cars, all these high performance cars on air suspension, and you see them performing as well. I mean, I just recently saw TJ Hunt upload a video of him drag racing his RX-7 that's on air suspension. And I mean, that just comes to say that the car can perform just as good on air suspension as coilovers as well, especially with how high-tech air suspension is. Oh, it'll perform for you and it won't let you down, I'll tell you that much. Now, the last thing that I really want to talk about, I'm being really broad, I'm being really brief about everything, because there isn't really much to talk about other than the fact that it's super convenient. You can adjust your ride height whenever you want. You don't have to worry about scraping. You don't have to worry about rubbing. You don't have to worry about speed bumps, driveways, nothing like that. You can ride as low as you want. You can raise it as high as you want. This car literally goes higher than factory height if I wanted to, when I air it all the way up. And then when you pull up to a car show or a car meet and you want to be low, you just slam it to the ground. It doesn't really get much more convenient than that, and it's all just being controlled out of this little remote. Comfort, I think it's comfortable. Obviously, nothing is ever going to be as comfortable as factory suspension, but airlift is comfortable. It is more comfortable than a lot of the coilovers on the market that you can get. Personally, at the end of the day, it's really just what your goals are for your car. It's really what you're looking to do. A lot of people are running air suspension lately. It seems like the majority of the car scene does have air suspension on their car versus coilovers nowadays. Before, a couple years ago, you would see a car on air suspension and you'd freak out and it was the coolest thing ever. Now it's like you pull up to a car show or a car meet and almost half of the cars are like airing out. It's just so normal now. But anyways, that's just about it. And to wrap up this video, if you guys are watching this and you are not subscribed just yet, please hit that like and subscribe button. I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers. Really want to hit this goal to hit 1,000 subscribers. It's a big milestone for me. I know it might not seem like a lot for some other people, but 1,000 subscribers, it's a big milestone for me. And if you go and hit that subscribe button for me, I would greatly appreciate it. For all of you that are already subscribed and watch my videos, I appreciate every single one of you. And that's about it for this video. Like I said, I have a lot in store for this car, so just wait on that. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Hit that like and subscribe button, and peace.